and don'ts of competitive masters athletes. So I would say for don'ts is stop comparing yourself to the younger athletes. Apples and oranges. You're not the same. The end. It's as simple as that. Stop comparing yourself to them. You are not going to be compared to them in the bodybuilding space because you're not the same. So don't do it yourself. Don't pose like a pro. The biggest mistake is amateur masters athletes looking at pro athletes and trying to copy them. Don't. You're not a pro. The expectations of pro athletes are different. They have 60 seconds on stage. They are pros. They've earned the right to have a lot more stage time and artistic flair, which amateur league athletes are not expected to have. So the minute you, again, step out your lane, you will lose points. It's as simple as that. So pose like an amateur. If you're an amateur, you've got 25 seconds. That should be your marker for your eye walk, not 60. And less is more. It's as simple as that. Stop trying to emulate a pro. You are not there. You do not have the same stage time or artistic flair permitted. So work on perfecting what you are expected to bring, and then you'll have a better chance at gaining points. The final don't, because I can do do's and don'ts all day. The final don't will be those masters athletes that think they're going to enter to compete against the 20-year-olds and expect to win. You're not. As much as I admire your self-belief, it isn't going to happen. It's not. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's not your stage. Stay in your lane. Stay on your stage. Those that maybe aren't aware or are aware and have exceptionally high delusions, and maybe thinking that they're going to go in an open against the 20-year-olds and win an overall and turn pro against 20-year-olds, that isn't a master stage. You are not. It is not going to happen. And if it does, well, maybe pigs might fly as well. It's not your stage. Sorry, not sorry. We've got stages for masters. We have masters pro qualifiers and masters stages for a reason. That is because what you are expected to bring to the table as a masters athlete in terms of look is wildly different to what a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, 28-year-old, 30-year-old is expected to bring to the stage as an athlete. Not the same. You're not the same. You can't judge apples and oranges. And some of you might get the hump at that. I don't care. It is what it is. Facts are facts. I speak of myself. I'm a masters athlete. I haven't and I wouldn't stand on a stage that doesn't belong to me. Why would I do that? I don't have anything to prove to anyone. There is no benefit or gain being an apple standing on a stage of oranges. let's just be real. Let's just be real. I stay in my lane. I stay on my stages. I'm fortunate enough, we all are, as masters athletes, to have stages that belong to us. So don't compete on a stage that doesn't belong to you. You know, I've said this before actually in a post I made, and I will say it again for those that maybe haven't seen that. But after every stage I compete on, I wait until the end and I speak to the head judge because I am interested in being the best athlete I can be. I don't just do anything, I do everything, and I say it over and over again to be the best I can be. I wait, I speak to the head judge. And I make sure that I understand what my expectations are. And I ask the judge often, and bearing in mind, I only stand on master stages. I often ask because I'm always interested for the answer, different judges. Do I stand a chance if I stood in an open with the younger athletes? Do I stand a chance? The answer is very tactful and respectful. You may stand on any stage you like, and true, I can, we all can. But it is not your stage. Simple as that. We have our stages. So if being the best of your category is the goal, then remain in your category. And as a masters, it isn't just for me being a bikini athlete, it is being a masters bikini athlete. I will not stand on a stage next to a junior in an open, or a 23-year-old, a 25-year-old, a 26-year-old. To what end? No, it is not my stage. So don't do that. The things to do, I think, some of the things to do, again, we could talk all day, as a masters athlete. I think maybe some of these might touch on being any age really, but certainly as a masters, is to, certainly for those anyway that are just starting out in bodybuilding and perhaps have a little way to go yet in developing their physique. The things to do is to focus on the things you can change and can do something about, such as your overall look. Focus on that. Bring to the stage a look that is befitting your category. Figure, women's bodybuilding, bikini, fit model, whatever it may be, that befits the category. Focus on that. Think carefully about what your category stands for, represents, means. Bring a look that is the definition of that to the best of your ability. Another do is focusing on the quality of your skin as a masters athlete. I think, everyone's different, and, we all have, we come from different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, ethnicities. So we all bring a different, for example, genetic makeup to the stage. But what arguably is coherent regardless is the fact that the older you get, the looser the skin might become. For some who haven't been an athlete in their earlier years, or for the most part of their life, are likely to age, worse than others, maybe, for want of a better description. Like some women will be more wrinkly, have more loose skin than others. I think focusing on the quality of skin, whether that is exfoliation on a simple level, skin treatments, etc. Even you know, sort of if you come from a transformation background and you've lost a significant amount of weight before deciding to transition into bodybuilding, which is, I applaud you, which is commendable, but can come with loose skin. You know, consider on the other end of the spectrum doing something about that, because the quality and integrity of your skin plays a huge factor in your overall package, and the judge's decision, if when push comes to shove, who will pip you to the post, if it's a difficult decision to make. So, for example, if you've got a row of athletes, which 4 of them we've whittled down to the best 4, and they're all much of a muchness. It's really, really close. Like, it's almost impossible to choose based on physique. The physiques are all much of a muchness. Now the judges are starting to drill down on the detail. Whose bikini looks better, sits better, whose hair looks better, sits better, you know, whose skin quality and tone looks better. And this is where we can lose vital points. Anyone can. This stands for any age, but it's just a little bit more prevalent when as masters athletes, because obviously the older you get, the looser the skin can become. So focus on the quality of your skin, you know, taking treatments in your off season, just, you know, to do the best you can with that. Making sure you exfoliate correctly before your tanning is done. Focusing on your overall package, is your overall look, be it your bikini, be it your hair, your makeup, befitting of your category and the image that that category portrays. Consider all of these do's, because not doing that will not stand you in good stead when push comes to shove. And finally, for the all-important do, is make sure you're ready. Make sure you are ready to get on that stage. You know, you can have the best face, hair, skin, bikini, shoes, jewellery, look in the world. If your physique isn't ready yet, you won't win. Don't do it. Wait. There's no rush. There's shows all year. I think the best service you can give yourself is to wait until you're ready. You know, sometimes we can start a journey, a prep, whatever stage you're at, with a plan to get on stage on whatever date. And for whatever reason, for some, it may not necessarily pan out that way. Don't rush. Don't rush. Wait. Wait until you're ready. Give yourself the best possible chance at being the best you can on that stage. Lord knows you've worked hard enough to get there. Certainly spent a great deal of money to get on these stages. Let's not do it half-hearted. Let's not rush. Let's wait until we're ready.